Hey, you guys, I want to talk about Israel and Palestine a little bit. This is a message to the American people, the hearts of the American people, and our American government. I know that it's best to stay neutral, and it is a moral responsibility to do what is right when we're called to do so. I believe that as part of the United Nations or members of the United Nations, we need to address these issues along with other members of the United Nations. Because if we go back to the partition plan of 1947, not only for Palestine and Israel, but also the partition plan between India and Pakistan. If you go back, this is the root of the problem between these four countries. It has to do with colonialism, and although that's not an issue today, it is a long fight, and it is a disaster waiting to happen. We, as members of the United Nations, need to come together as United Nations and talk about these things. It is not fair for Israel's government to be taken more and more each day from the Palestinian people. I know that that's what happened here in the United States of America when the Europeans settled in the land. That was the Native Americans. And still today, Native Americans are living in poverty, most of them. Most Native Americans will tell you that they're happy, genuinely happy. They're very intelligent people, and they're very resourceful, and they have thrived. But they were robbed, and still today are living the consequences of that. Palestine has been robbed, and what was supposed to be a settlement, but a settlement for who? The Palestinian people never agreed to that. None of the Eastern countries agreed to that partition plan. From what I have heard from old news regarding this partition plan, which was very unfair, was that there was a lot of pressure politics, especially from Israel's leaders. So I want us to just go back and understand what really happened and why still today, up until recently, there were people concerned about nuclear weapons between Pakistan and India. And you know, the nuclear power obviously is not the solution. The conflict needs to be resolved at the root of the problem. And the root of the problem is that their land was invaded, for lack of a better term, or unfairly split. So, what to do is the United States needs to stay neutral, but we certainly don't need to be taking Israel's side, because what they have been doing as a government to the Palestinian people is taking more and more each day, leaving these people without even proper water supply. This is inhumane and cruel. And this is the Palestinian people's land. I know that the Jews believe that this is their promised land, but what they don't understand is that God assigned us this whole earth. This whole earth is our land of our inheritance. This is what Jews need to understand, that all Israel will be saved, Jews and Gentiles. Israel is the people of God. It's not a breed of people or a race. We need to talk about these things with God on the table. Open up your books, the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, and let us read together. It will clearly be highlighted for you. You have a common, and that common is the Spirit of God, the Spirit of truth. That common is our Mother Earth. And we're using our people's money to go up to Mars, when this has never been the priority, shouldn't have been the priority. People are being cheated out of their money. Our priority is our very own Earth, and we better work together and let us stand for what is right. Let us not be taking sides here, especially when we know because it has been brought up to our attention. We have Palestinian people coming over here left and right because they have no choice but to seek refuge here in America. And America has been supporting Israel, knowing that what they're doing is wrong. Let us maintain our neutrality, but let us be fair and not be taking sides, especially when we know that these rights are being violated. We need to, as United Nations, get together, because it's not just an American issue alone. I'm speaking to all nations. Thank you.